Do you feel clams more in your hip flexor, more in that TFL than you do in your glute? Well, then come join me. I want to give you 2 things to try. The first thing I want you to try is finding a wall. This gives grounding for your feet because when you're in the middle of the floor, your hip flexor is having to help over-stabilize so that you don't extend your legs. But now you can push and extend those legs. And guess what is our biggest hip extender? It's the glute max. So as you push against the wall, we're going to automatically be getting more glute max and less TFL with that. Then you want to think about really lifting those abs. So bring that rib cage up and under, and what can really help with this is putting a pillow or block or something underneath your head. That way you can hold your rib cage up more easily. Now, if you want to challenge your abs, put your arm up here to hold your head and lift your rib cage more with those abdominal muscles. That's going to help stabilize your pelvis, which is then in turn going to be able to extend your pelvis down a little bit, which will then get that TFL to calm down. So then you can work on clams from that glute max. Now you want to make sure you're not tipping into an anterior tilt when you do it, because that's going to be a lot more hip flexor as well. So tuck your bottom under a bit, keep it tucked under as you lift up for clams. Now, the next variation is even better. So join me on the wall. So for this, we can do an upright or standing clam, which I think is even more functional and maybe a little bit more fun as well. So you can take your foot, place it back on a wall, and I'm gonna pull up on the wall. What this is gonna do is engage my hamstrings, which is then gonna help keep a little bit of a posterior pelvic tilt, which in turn is gonna do what? Tell that hip flexor to calm down. Now, we can do clams 2 different ways here. So I'm gonna pull up on the wall, I'm gonna hinge forward just a little bit and tuck my bottom, dropping my tailbone just a hair. I can do clams here with the foot that's on the wall, or I can do clams from the foot that's on the ground. So I can shift over. Let me switch so you can see that. So I can do clams just moving this leg and a clam, or making it triple functional, I can push from this glute. Now, what you want to think about when you do this is utilizing your glute, not leaning your shoulder over. And you want to think about keeping that little bit of a posterior pelvic tilt when you do it, so that you're not hiking forward or hiking up through your back. So holding that nice stable position and pushing from that glute, and boy, you are going to feel the burn. So give that a try. I love all those variations a lot more than clams just out in the middle of a floor.